Hello then, folks. Welcome back to another episode of AFC Thames from DoctorBenjyFM. Good to see you. I hope it finds you extraordinarily well. Now, 2 games to kick off our season, where our second season now is about to begin in League One. Now, the interesting thing about League One is that it's not that different from League Two. In theory, like the player-wise, it's not too different. Of course, we mentioned in the last episode, some of the teams that have come down from the Championship in recent years are very, very good, and it makes me a little bit more nervous. But I genuinely believe that the team that we've built, if you've not watched the transfer episode from yesterday, I uploaded it on a Sunday, very confusing, go back and watch it, get yourself the complete rundown of the players that we've got before we crack on, introduce you to the team, and set our expectations for this season. So, to set those expectations, let's consider where we are tipped to be according to, I assume it's just the media, right? We are predicted to be 23rd. The newly promoted sides, 3 of them are predicted to be better than us. I think, although it says 50 to 1 there, and you can all see it, I think we are actually placed around here, around the Crewe, Bolton, Preston area, 15 to 1, around that place. Got a player in the media Dream 11 for the first time ever. This might be one of the first like Dream 11 players I've ever had in the series up to now. And I think with the players that you've got, if we can get this system, this 4-4-2 system firing, we are not just on for the playoffs, we are on for a little bit more. Now, I'm setting that expectation level very, very high. Rarely will you have seen me talk up my team in this manner before, but if it's going to be a season where I think I'm prepared to do it, this is that season. The midfield, the attack, we have got a chance this year, and I am so excited to see how we get on. A little bit of admin before we carry on. Packham has joined us against Simeon Packham because he's rejoined on loan. He wasn't on the ins column from last episode, but yeah, he's back again. Of course, the 7.13 from last season is really, really good. So if you continue that sort of form, we're going to be laughing all the way to clean sheets, viewers. Of course, we'll see how Doherty does in goal. Or Doherty, I think it's probably Doherty. Comment section, I read you. Cook has come in at right back for us now, but Rob Wells is an interesting player. We've signed an actual right back. He's going to be probably the backup, but could probably be trusted to play sort of as a starter if needs be. Of course, he can play centre back as well, so he's got a little bit of versatility. And that now, in terms of our squad, is kind of everything's covered. All bases have been covered. We're good in some areas, we're great in some others, and hopefully then this season can culminate in some success. The front 2 of Below and Solomon are going to be key. Again, if you want a complete rundown of the squad before we get into this game, again, yesterday's video will give you every bit of information you could ever need with regards to this team. So Doherty will be in goal, Cook, Russell, Packham and Blake at the back. It's getting quite settled at the back there actually now. Stone, Welsh, Tete, Reed, Solomon and Below up front. And of course, Cabbage, Renatino, Carroll off the bench as well. We've got some real exciting options if we need to change things around. So here we go then. I'm actually very nervous. We're going to play 2 games today. The first of which, as I say, is against Rochdale before a game against AFC Wimbledon. And yeah, can we start the season in good form? I really do hope so. Now, Rochdale are newly promoted, and they are the best tipped of all the sides that have come up from League Two. We have to give out a few numbers, which is always a little bit frustrating. Cook, I'm going to give number 2 to, because he's our starting right back for now. Wells can have 22. Solomon's going to get, I think, 19. You know, give him a little bit of a number 9, and 21 can go to Welsh. It's all quite simple. Of course, still got the rules of you can only have 5 lone players in any match day squad. That's not just the 11, that's the entire squad, right? That's the 18. So something to be aware of. Some of our players, so that Fulham centre back that we brought in, currently has to not be in the squad, although he's quite good. So we're definitely getting some game time in reserve fixtures so he stays fit. But here we are then, Rochdale. Alex Smithies, the goalkeeper, is their manager a few years down the line. And let's see them. I've just told the boys we're underdogs, which is not what I should have said. Trying to big us up here. I can't be saying we're underdogs. All right then, away at Rochdale. Always a big game for Thames at the start of the season. Can we get off to the most perfect of starts? That's the question. They're playing a 4-2-3-1. And how will our 4-4-2 fare this season? Will it be a superstar system for us, or will there be problems? As Reed, the first time we see him in a Thames shirt, we're 4 minutes in. Oh my word! Okay, it's a very good start from Reed. Let's face it. I'm not sure that could have gone much better. Below finds him on that side, and then Reed, he doesn't even have to. I mean, he doesn't even move that far forward. He just hits it, and it's 1-0 Thames, and I'm very excited. Goodness gracious me, Andrew Reed. It's very early to score, and it's very... I'm already seeing myself now lifting the League One trophy at the end of the season. The sides around us are powering in goals at this point, so we should probably keep expectations at a... I'm going to click calm down. Whether they like it or not, it's more for me than for them, as Litherland plays the ball forwards, as it's now gone across our goal line. Of course, Doherty as well. We'll see how he does in goal this season, as the new look 4-4-2 so far has started. Where you can see the two boys up top. We love that, by the way. The isolation that we'll have. I think our front two will give any defensive partnership a real battle this season. So the fact that lots of teams play with 4 of the back systems and we're basically just one-on-one in both the right and left-hand sides gives me a lot of hope moving forward, as Stone there does brilliantly as he races forward. We know he's got the pace, the shot, it's blocked, he plays it to Below, who strikes, and it's offside. But again, we're looking, I wouldn't say dominant, but we're looking good. Oh, goodness me. I've waited so long to have a team that I genuinely believe is like a bit of a contender, right? Every promotion for the last few promotions has been, I wouldn't say a shock, but has felt like, oh wow, this is actually happening this season. That's okay. Well, George Milton there has scored a quite phenomenal goal. It's 1-1, and I really do need to calm down, because all I'm really doing right now is I'm upping your expectation levels, right? I know how good, that's an amazing goal. I know how good the boys are. I know how much quality is in our side. And I've built a lot of squads. This squad is so much better than previous ones. I'm pleased with how things are going. Now, I'm not happy with the performance. We should not be drawing against the newly promoted side. We had a good season last year, and our team is better this year. So I don't want to hear anyone complaining or saying that, we were just trying our best, aren't we? Reed to Stone. Oh my word, Reed. Tony Stone, I think we're going to see a phenomenal season out of Tony Stone. He's now got so much more around him in terms of quality. I think that's going to get the absolute best out of him specifically. So while I think Reed's going to be sensational, and the cross that he's put on a plate here for Stone was absolutely sensational, I think we'll see a lot out of Stone this year. I'm really excited. I can't wait to see where him and Reed finish the season. Basically, like how many goals and assists a pair of them will have. I think the combination of the two of them combining will become a really regular fixture in this side. As the ball's played forward Below, flicks it onto nobody. And it's going to be Rochdale that claim, and now we have to be careful, got to have our wits about us as Russell goes to meet that. It's interesting not having an attacking midfielder. Now, of course, like these midfield battles now are going to be really, really crucial. You can already see like some teams will overload us in there, especially if they're playing sort of like 2 deeper and then 1 sitting. One of us has to draw out and press a little bit, so it's got to be a really smart press. And again, having a smarter team hopefully will help me with that this season as it comes out to this left-hand side. Cook there, really good tackle, especially for someone who's on a yellow card. And now these 2v2 situations at the back, it wasn't great from Below, and the ball forward from them was really good. Ferreira's in on goal, and he finds the finish. I mean, Doherty right now not covering himself in too much glory, as it's now back to 2-2. Manage your expectations. I just feel like, even though the game so far, like we've had the best of it so far, possession-wise, not so much. My only big thing this season, actually, the one question mark over all of this for me is, will 4-4-2 work? I really don't know. Like, it's not a system I've used a lot this year. It's used quite a lot in the online play through the Streamer Showdown. It's not a formation that I use. Will me using it here encourage me to use it in other places? Maybe, but that is the one thing I'm completely unsure of. Again, getting the roles right, whether that be the striker roles or the central midfield 2 roles, I think that's generally most important. As the ball to this right-hand side, Reed picks it up again. Every time he's on it, I feel like we're a threat. As Below's header, it's gone in! Wow, Andrew Reed has got a goal and 2 assists to his name. I'm not sure I've ever seen a goal scored like that. I think it's hit the post and just dropped in. A looping header. Let's look at the 3-dimensional replay to see just what happened there. Solomon flicks on to begin with. Abdullah with a not very good clearance. And then Reed plays this ball in, loops it in. And Below there, it just sort of, yes, it hits the post and goes in, but it's done in sort of slow motion. 3-2, the scoreline now. I was going to encourage, but we don't really need to at this point. We're just going to slow things down a little bit, waste a little bit more time, try and keep a sort of patience to proceedings. As Reed with another set piece played in, this time cleared away as Tete gets on it. He's the one question mark as well in midfield, right? There's a few things, and that's one of them is, Solomon. It's a lovely cross from Welsh, by the way, our other central midfielder. The 2 Bournemouth lads, which is really nice. The 2 loanees from Bournemouth combine, and a really nice goal. Thames 4, Rochdale 2. This was a bit edgy at times. When we were drawing, I didn't feel quite so confident in some of the statements I was making, but all of a sudden, at 4-2, it feels comfortable. Hopefully we can see this out now. I'm going to go cautious as well, really sort of hankering down, making sure that this game is won here and now. as Doherty's ball forward. Is Reed going to win that? He's not the tallest, but wow, he's manoeuvred himself really well. Reed racing forward, in on goal, goes for goal himself. McAndrew has to make a decent save. Solomon keeps it alive, as this isn't over yet, as Tete hits the other post. Blimey, chaos back there, as we could have had a fifth. I hope you can tell, viewers, as if it's not obvious. I am infused by this team right now. I think we're set for a very interesting season. One way or another, either I'm going to be really disappointed or we're going to have a lot of fun. And either way, drama guaranteed. Reed's got a free kick. There's only a couple of minutes of normal time left. Below, we've hit the post again. The chances we're creating right now as it goes back across to Reed. He's got so much space. Reed, he could have gone for goal himself, tried to cross it. Very unselfish of the new man. Going to make a couple of changes, just keeping things fresh in there. Of course, Renatino, Barras, they would have been two starters for us once upon a time, and now they're players off the bench just to settle things. We don't lose a huge amount of quality in central midfield anymore. But as the ball's played across, my goodness me, Lorenzo Priestley. One thing to note then, we are a little leaky so far this season, but it looks like we're still going to hold on. I mean, they've gone well over the time allocated here, so I'm quite cross about it. There we are then. Rochdale 3, Thames 4. Our XG really solid. 18 shots away from home as well. They're a newly promoted side. The bounce they've had from being promoted, we have managed to stem a little bit. And now then, we go to our second game of today's episode. Against the AFC Wimbledon, can we go back-to-back wins to kick off the season? Oh, I hope so. What a performance, though, from Andrew Reed. It was the talk of the social page there. Yeah, they are excited to see just how this man does, as am I. Interesting too, we've sold 1,142 season tickets. If that's one of you, thank you so much for supporting. I remember the days when we had about 25. So things have changed here at Thames. All right, straight into our second game of the episode, and I'm going to just keep the same team that won. It's very, very basic, very simple. That's what we're going to do. Let's see if we can do the business as, AFC Wimbledon. Our first home game of the season, it's AFC versus AFC. Please, can you win for me? Lovely rhyme. I do feel different about the whole, even the videos. Right, I come into the videos thinking we should win here. I've got such belief in this team to do really good things that if I ever lose games in this season, I'm gonna look and feel stupid, which is not something that's new, is it? All right, early bit of encouragement as Welsh picks up a booking very early on as one of my two central midfielders. That's something I think I'm going to have to be a lot more aware of. We're still getting stuck in. Tactically, I've changed things around a little bit, but keeping it pretty simple. Focusing play down the wider areas, working it into the centre, getting the best out of the strikers, again, distributing it to the flanks, getting those two boys, Stone and Reed, on either side. I've got so much faith in everything good coming from the two of those boys. This is the question, though, isn't it? Will our midfields, or will our midfield two get overwhelmed on occasion? How will the support of our wider players impact things? And how much will that give us a different dimension to our play? And then the interesting thing for me is, because I've not played this system before, how will that impact future tactics? Will I think, well, having a left winger out here provides more space for this player or creates opportunities for this player? I really don't know yet. And that, to me, is really exciting. I think when you play Football Manager, you've got to try and keep it fresh. If you just plug in one tactic for the entire time and play it, this is like our seventh different system in different ways, right? From having three strikers to having wider players to having defensive midfielders to having now four across both lines. We're changing things up quite a lot. Again, we've done the five at the back thing even, right? We've had different combinations of strikers, and now basically I'm backing the team. I think to play this sort of system, you need to believe that the players you're getting within the system are good enough to isolate and control the spaces in which they're in. And that's something I'm going to have to find out as we go forward, as AFC Wimbledon score a goal that's disallowed. Interestingly, as the away side here, line-wise, we're playing just the standard lines on both sides. I might move things up just a little bit to try. In fact, I might make the lines closer. See, that's something I'm not too sure about. What I like about this is 4-4-2 is, I mentioned it in the last game, it's not a system I ever play. So it's going to be interesting to see how I develop with the lines and whether I think they need to be closer or if they can exist further away from one another. And it's about how much space and support you can give. They're quite different things. You want space offensively, I find, to move into and to have options and passing lanes that become more prevalent. Whereas when you're playing that sort of that deeper style of play, like you almost need to play a ticky-tack way, right? Building up the pitch, going to wider areas, working in slightly different triangles and different shapes to what you're used to. Like, there's triangles all over this if you look at it, but it's making sure those passing lanes are always available, and having a team good enough to do this is the crucial thing. The more I think about it, the more I'm talking about it, I think dropping the attacking line and getting players closer together might be one of the ways for us to be a little bit more... I don't know, I'm trying to think about how we can make sure that we don't get overwhelmed too much. And I think keeping the ball better is one of those things. Much like the first game, we're drawing right now and I expect to be winning. So I'm going to criticise them a little bit. In terms of passes completed, we're far below Wimbledon. I say far below. We're just below Wimbledon right now. There's another booking's been picked up. But we're seeing so little in terms of creative chances right now. And that's something that's going to have to change. But I guess there's part of me as well that knows that I have to stick with this. Now, with 20 minutes to go, I'm just going to pause it there. This brings about a situation that we talked about when we made the signings yesterday. The first move is going to be cabbage on for below. The front two, not doing the business at all. And then it takes just one more change, I think, to mix this around a little bit. I might even keep the winger on this side where he is. Reed's going to go across that left-hand side, cutting in, inside forward, very, very dangerous. And Kean Carroll is going to come on to play on the right-hand side. And I've got one more change to make, and I think Barras to come in for Tete is the move here. So this now, with 20 minutes to go, it's a triple change. I'm expecting a red card or an injury very, very shortly. But we'll just see. It's changing our shape very subtly, but again, positionally quite similar in that you've got a wing on either side or wide players on either side. But what we're seeing right now, again, is very, very little. Now, if we go more attacking, it'll speed everything up. And part of our intention so far has been to slow things down. So I'm going to slow them down even more by going cautious. It might seem overly cautious, and hopefully we haven't invited too much pressure, but we're trying to play some risk-free football here, really. And I'm really expecting our attacking players there to do a little more, as AFC Wimbledon are in possession, and I think you probably feel as nervous as I do as blimey. Well, defensively, we're solid there. And now Doherty picks it up, and we're going to wider areas. That's the plan with this system. Finding wide players. You can see he's looking for them. He's not kicking it, but he is looking for them. Goes out towards Cabbage, who flicks on. And now Reed, on the other side, drives towards goal. Now, can he pick out the right pass? Oh, it's a lovely one too. Cabbage now, across goal. Well, we saw a chance from it. It was interesting to see the way the ball ended up out there. It wasn't necessarily how I'd have predicted. We came back into the game a lot more there. Like, it's frustrating to see a 0-0. We're having a few chances. I remember at one point there we had one shot, none on target. So the fact that we've ended up with 8 shots, 4 on target, it looks like we've had the best of the game. Suggests that the changes that we made, even like with passes completed, right, they did have a positive influence. You can see our XG first half there, and then sort of second half, it really began to create more chances. And sometimes you're just not going to score a goal. Now, it's a 46 game season, a long way to go. I guess I'm going to repeat the obvious. I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself this season for this team to perform. The playoffs for me is an absolute minimum. I can't ignore the fact that Blackburn, I was going to say QPR, who are currently bottom of the league, but some of these sides that have come down are very good. Some of the sides that already exist in the league, of course, there'll be defeated playoff teams from last season too. So we shouldn't take that for granted, but I'm putting pressure on the team. I think I've assembled a really good team. I think it's my best window. And yeah, in that game there, the finishing wasn't quite right. But there we are then. That is going to conclude today's episode. It was a lot more tactical, a lot more in-depth than normal. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, drop a comment. Let me know if you enjoy the type of video where I talk about things a little bit more in depth. Of course, I'm going to be doing some football content soon, so expect this version of Ben a little bit more. Again, if you've enjoyed it, drop a like on it. Want to see some more? Make sure you subscribe. We're 5,000 subscribers away from 100,000. Something I do really, really want. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure today's the day, and I'll see you for more very, very soon. We love with care from this Benji. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. We're out.